I'm your host for today's Java with Arti relationship marketing session, and we have a very profound guest, Melissa Barlock, with us today. Melissa is a relationship marketing strategist and has been in the business helping small and mid-sized, I would say, companies and organizations build better relationships, not just with their existing clients, but with also potential clients. And when I met Melissa about a year ago, I was completely intrigued by the fact that there is so much that companies and small businesses can do to increase their sales, increase their referral flow. And I requested Melissa to be on a call with me and share that wisdom with all of us, how we can expand our network seamlessly and generate more steady flow of referrals, more clients who have great client experience. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Melissa. Melissa, welcome and thank you so much for joining us today.
Arti, thank you so much. Thanks for that fabulous introduction. I'm really thrilled to be on the call with you. I have to say that you're an incredibly talented woman, talented business savvy woman, and I really, I've learned a lot from you as well. And I appreciate that everything that you're doing for so many people around you. And thanks for everything that you do. I really appreciate being on this webinar with you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. You know what? I asked a few of my inner circle of clients and potential clients some questions that they'd like to kind of hear. They may not be able to join us on the call live, but they've requested for the recording. So I'm definitely going to ask you those questions. But everybody else, if you have any questions for Melissa, please feel free to type them in the chat window, and we'll take them up as we go along. Okay. So with that said, Melissa, I have one burning question. I've been in marketing for such a long time, and I've seen from print to web to social, and pretty much the lifeline of how marketing has evolved. Share with us how you think the marketing in this landscape has evolved over the last several years.
Well, I think you've definitely hit the nail on the head where you said you go from the print to online to relationships. In fact it's evolved immensely, and obviously social media and the internet has done a lot of that with all of our social media sites and all of our online marketing. I mean, obviously Facebook and the internet has pretty much change the whole trajectory of marketing. And so for many, many positive things, I mean, it's done some tremendous things for marketing and for many positive aspects. But one of the things a lot of people make mistakes with sales and marketing is they kind of combine the two. And they mistake sales to be a part of marketing or don't really see that there's a difference. And then eventually realize that sales is an outcome of a well-marketed product or service. And most importantly, along the process, what's the experience that we've created? So especially today, the world has changed and we trust our peers more. So that's really what makes a difference. And relationship marketing has really, it's always been around, but people have really had a hard time in really defining what relationship marketing is. And relationship marketing isn't sales, it's marketing. It is separate. And relationship marketing was first defined as a form of marketing which emphasizes customer retention and satisfaction rather than a dominant focus on sales transactions. So relationship marketing really differs from other forms of marketing in that it recognizes the long-term value of customer relationships, and that's really what we want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Artie, I just wanted to finish, but consider this for a moment. If we consider that paying customers equals money, and happy customers provide testimonials, word-of-mouth referrals, loyalty, and ultimately money. However, we as entrepreneurs, we're always looking to build, and building really isn't the problem. It's when you forget your existing clients in pursuit of adding new ones. And study after study really confirms that the cost of acquiring a new client is at least 4 to 6 times more expensive than keeping an existing client. So these people are on your side. Why push them away? This is why relationship marketing is so, so key.
Absolutely, and that I was about to just ask you that have you kind of come across the statistics that says that the cost of acquiring and new customers is how many times much higher? Because I've experienced it in my business. We have clients who come back, and quite honestly, about 70% of our business is because of our existing clients all the time, because that's the clients, and they will refer us more business also because they're happy, satisfied, and we've been able to create that experience throughout their journey with us, right? So totally agree that relationship marketing is changing the landscape where there is so much noise in the marketplace, and even a potential client is inundated with who to work with, who to go to, who to reach out to, how do you stand out and create that experience for people who would like to work with you. So that's really key, and that again, as you said beautifully, that marketing is is a conduit to the end result, which is sales, and everybody wants to grow their sales and revenues. So thank you for sharing that. um, Now, this brings me to a question. I mean, what is the ultimate key to becoming an expert at building those relationships? Wh- what is it that you would say is something that we need to kind of learn as entrepreneurs, as business owners, that'll help us foster those beautiful relationships, which will turn into profits and money all the time?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is going to probably be completely opposite of what traditional marketing and sales would tell you, but the ultimate key to becoming a master at relationship marketing is to really create a mindset. You really want to create and find out who you are, and then you want to give yourself away. So think of this. What is the best version of you? And really, what are you telling yourself? What are your most dominant I am statements? What are you, really you are living your most dominant statement. So if you're thinking, positive thoughts in your head, then this is what you're going to project, right? If you're thinking negative, negative in, negative out, positive in, positive out. So really, you're going to do this by master relationships in three core areas. You want to master your relationships with yourself. You want to master relationships with others, and then you also want to master relationships with business. Now, like I said, the first one is to have that mindset. What is your mindset? Do you have a positive mindset? Do you have a positive attitude? Whatever you're thinking and feeling yourself is what you're projecting to the world and what you're projecting to others and your business relationships. So you really want to get into a rhythm of your relationships. And sometimes all you need to do is make a simple attitude shift, right? Or create a mindset for abundance and prosperity. You want to really shift to have that kind of positive, whether it be a positive money blueprint, relationship with yourself, and you really want to have, your personal development plan. You want to work on yourself, and like I just mentioned, it's garbage in, garbage out. You are what you eat, but you are also what you feed your mind. So,
Hmm.
what are the books that you're reading? What's the book on your nightstand? What are things that you're feeding to yourself? Are you always watching, the news, which is negative, or you're feeding yourself with continually learning, whether it be educating you on, your profession or on your personal development. Really, really focus on yourself first, and then you can give your best version of you away.
So I took away three things that was very, very core, and I want to kind of reemphasize this. First, shift your mindset, and also master the three core areas that you said, which is yourself. Focus on what others that you're giving away to others as a result of building those relationships with yourself and your inner self, I would say, and then what you're putting out in the business also is a direct impact of your mindset. So brilliant, yeah. No, that's totally relevant, because as my business evolved, my personality evolved, and as you evolve all those areas, those three areas, you see a lot of wealth and abundance come into your not just from a money standpoint, but also from happier relationships standpoint also. So that's great. Um,
Exactly. Artie, I just wanted to kind
mhm,
of focus on when I say relationship with others in business, and really when you're creating those relationships with others, which kind of goes simultaneously with business,
mhm,
how are you appreciating others? Are you valuing other people's beliefs, right? I mean, you could have your
mhm,
own beliefs, but are you
mhm,
respecting and value others? Are you appreciating others, and are you serving others in your community? And those are some great ways that you can really master relationships
mhm.
with other people in business.
Fantastic. No, so true. You know what? I'm going to shift gears for just a bit here. Um, Today, the relationships are restricted most of the times. I see a lot of people spending a lot of time in social media, and I'm completely blown away with that because that's the industry that I service and practice and live and breathe. But at the same time, being an internet marketer or a digital marketer, I see people spending a lot of time on social media, which can be restricted a little bit. At the same time, uh, less is more in my mind. So, do you really think that relationships have become restricted to social media for most part? And in this kind of a noise and in the world where we live in a different communication style, um, how do you think this high tech world and this personal touch world can be married? And are they really required uh, simultaneously, or can one give up personal touch and still be on social media and still build those relationships? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree. Social media can definitely be very noisy, and I always fall into the, that blue abyss of the Facebook kind of.
Mhm.
You can spend a lot of time and a lot of hours just sucked into the social media, which is
Mhm.
important for sure. It's absolutely important, but make sure that you're putting a time limit. You can set a clock or a timer on your phone and say, I'm going to spend, 20 minutes or a half an hour, whatever that time looks like for you, depending on what business you're in, and set a time of how much you're going to spend. I mean, obviously, it's so important to have those social media touches, whether it be your Facebook, your LinkedIn. For sure, that's important. But you really want to focus on, also marrying that high tech with the personal touch. So how do you do that? You're going to restrict yourself on the social media areas for sure, because again, we all know that we can get into that whole kind of abyss of spending so much time, and really, are we really focusing on our business and the relationships, or is it more just, gossip and
Yeah.
more, just being nosy kind of thing. So you really want to define your personal brand and you want to build with it. So defining your personal brand, like I just mentioned, it really starts with you and your mindset, who you are and how you're presenting yourself to the world.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you're going to do this through friendships and celebration as well as service. These are three key: your friendship, your celebration, and your service. And
Wow.
in your life
Hmm.
and in your business, people are going to buy into you, right? People, as we all know, people are going to do business with you if they know, like, and trust you. They want to
True.
know, like, and trust. And
Hmm.
how are you going to do that? You're going to, they make a connection with you. They establish a relationship with you. They build an emotional attachment to you. And ultimately, they're really buying into your personal brands. So,
Hmm.
when you're celebrating friendships and celebrating service, some of the things that I like to do, whether it be on Facebook or the social media sites and things like that, is find out ways, let's say one of your clients' kids graduated,
Hmm.
and you want to reach out to them and congratulate them. There are other ways of just liking that message. Maybe you want to send them a card or something a little more personable, and
Hmm.
that's how you're going to bring in the you're marrying the high tech with the personal touch by seeing all these great events, celebrating their lives, but maybe take it offline. Maybe you want to give them a phone call. Maybe you want to meet them for coffee and recognize that they've had these events happen. Maybe you want to take it a step further and send them a card. Take a picture from Facebook, put it in a card, and send it to them with a congratulations. Make it about them, and that's how you're building on your friendships and
Wow.
celebrating their life.
Oh my God, that's a brilliant idea. And you know what? I've received a couple of cards and few cards actually from you, Melissa. So thank you. I always kind of recognize the fact that nobody, uh, there's a child within all of us, right? Nobody would mind receiving a package. Gone are those days when we would receive the postal, service would come and knock on your door and get you a package, and that still brightens my day and uplifts my spirits because you feel appreciated and recognized. So totally agree with that. And I've had the pleasure of kind of doing this in the last few months, ever since I've started to be mentored by you on this aspect of my business, and I've done it for other people, and they've appreciated. And I receive emails and phone calls, and sometimes it makes me feel really good that I was able to brighten and lighten up somebody's day. So that's totally agreeable. I agree with you. And just want to add a couple of things from a social media to from a high tech to a personal touch standpoint. Um, I totally agree that nobody can, take away the networking aspect of it. You and I belong to different networking groups, and we know that nobody can take away that part of it. And from a social media standpoint, when you're building those online relationships, what I'm hearing is from you, Melissa, is making those online relationships are great, but take a step further and personalize them a little bit more, and create that. I would say take that conversation and continue that conversation. Just don't limit it to that one Facebook post or one Twitter
Exactly.
mention.
Don't just like it and let it go. You
Yeah.
really want to, if you want to appreciate people, take it that one step further and maybe have that, belly to belly, belly to belly, or traditional voice to voice, right? Or like I
Mhm,
said, send them a card. And if you were to rewind this webinar
mhm,
and listen to your voice, and I notice it all the time. Anytime I send a card or you make a gesture about somebody else, when you make something about somebody else, everything shifts. And I just
mhm,
noticed the intonation in your voice went up, your energy levels went up, your
mhm,
your whole vibration went up because you were talking about a card and a gift that you received, right?
mhm.
And so
True.
when people appreciate you, you instantaneously get this wonderful positive feeling. And so, like Maya Angelou says, people forget what you say, they forget what you do, but they never forget how you make them feel. So consider that in
Wow.
business, in your everyday relationships, because really it's about relationships. It really should be 80% of the time your relationships and 20% of the time marketing. Truly and truly, like I said before, people do business because they know, like, and trust you and your
Mhm.
brand. You could be have the best product or service, but if they don't like you, they are not going to do business with you. So consider really appreciating other people and making them feel good by celebrating their lives.
And you know what? Wow, celebration is amazing because people, I totally, would resound that because ultimately, when people feel appreciated, they also make that connection with you, and eventually, keeping that more from a business standpoint. Also, people like to do business with, as you said, people they like working with. They have a that established trust, and many times, those businesses who are more in service related, for example, it could be an events company or my own business, or maybe a real estate agent or a brokerage, which is doing mortgages. They're more service related, and sometimes we are our own brand, right? People are buying from us because we represent that company and that service level. So I think when you mentioned to me once that, Artie, I totally think that when in business, people buy into you rather than buying into what you're trying to sell them at the tail end, right? So,
Exactly. And I also, if I can add this, that if you, and again, this seems completely contrary to traditional belief, but when you take the focus off the sale and the
mhm,
money outcome, and you really just focus on serving other people and
mhm,
relationships,
mhm,
the abundance will come. It will come naturally. It's almost like planting those seeds and waiting for harvest. And when you really give to give,
mhm.
the abundance will come back to you. So really focus on that, and business it will flow. It's a law of attraction. It's a law of nature.
Great. So, you talked about high tech and personal branding, and I'm going to just, take another question here, which is, when you're talking to, let's say, clients, you've created those relationships, you've established that wow factor, you've created that experience. Um, how do you think in your mind? I know that you represent a fantastic product, Send Out Cards, and you're an executive with Send Out Cards. You've really, created not just abundance for yourself, but also for a lot of other people within your team. My question is, how do you see? Tell us a little bit more. First of all, tell us a little bit more about your journey with Send Out Cards, and why did you choose that product to build those relationships?
Okay, well, I mean, send out cards. It was something really that kind of it fell in my lap. It's funny because it was something that I didn't. It wasn't something I was searching for. I was actually I left my corporate job to stay at home with my kids, And SendOutCards was introduced to me simply by I received a card. I received a card in the mail, and it was from a neighbor of ours who was up at the cottage. We had gone to a party, like a birthday party of hers, and she sent us a card. It was a heartfelt card, and it had pictures of us and our family. And I remember receiving that card in the mail, and I was blown away at the fact that she took the time to take pictures of us, put it in a card, and I kept that card. I still have that card. I put it up on my mantle, and what I noticed was everybody that walked into my house, and I, being the stay-at-home mom that I was 3 years ago when my kids were young, 3 to 5 years ago, I had a lot of play dates and moms over and social events and things like that. And so anytime somebody came into my house, I noticed that they went straight to the mantle, picked up the card, and it created a conversation piece. So that was the first thing. And so when I found about SendOutCards and the ability to be able to create these highly personalized cards at the fraction of what it would cost in the store, click send, and the company's going to print stuff, stamp, and do the work for me, I was in love. I thought this is an incredible tool that I thought would help me in my personal relationships. Now, one of the things that really shocked me, and I didn't expect, was my husband. My husband actually owns a business. He designs and fabricates supermarket equipment. It's a manufacturing plant in Toronto. And so, his clients are Loblaws, Metro, Home Depot, and he does a lot of high volume manufacturing for them. And so I started having him send cards to his clients. And so, if you know Tom Hopkins, one of the greatest salesperson of all time, this is what he says. He says, because I understood that building relationships is what selling is all about, I began early in my career to send thank you notes to people. I set a goal to send 10 thank you notes, which meant that I had to meet and get the names of at least 10 people every day. I sent thank you notes to people I met briefly, people I showed properties to, people I talked with on the telephone, and people I actually helped to own new homes. I became a thank you note writing fool. And guess what happened? By the end of my third year in sales, my business was 98% referrals. The people I had expressed gratitude to were happy to send me new clients as a reward for making them feel appreciated and important. So this is Tom Hopkins. He's one of the greatest salesmen of all time. And all the top income earners or businessmen in this world, men and women in this world, they tell you to write thank you notes. So when I started utilizing SendOutCards, I said to my husband, you should be sending thank you notes to your clients. And I'll be honest with you, initially he said, oh, no, my business is fine. I don't need to be sending thank you cards. And I said, listen, let's do an experiment. I'm going to start sending cards on your behalf. I'll do the work. I mean, it's super simple. I'll do it from home. Kids are napping. I'll fire up the laptop, send off a couple of cards. And so every time he went to a meeting, I'd send a thank you card. Thank you for taking the time to meet me, or it was great to meet you. Thank you for the referral. Thank you for the opportunity to quote. Even if he lost a job, we would send a card, or I'd send a card saying thank you for the opportunity. Hopefully we can do better next time. Just simple things like this. Right. And just very simple, honest, authentic gestures with no business undertone. And so what started happening was these executives, VPs, tool and die shops, mom and pop shops, suppliers started calling him back and absolutely overwhelmed at the fact that he took the time, or I took the time, to send a thank you card and reach out in kindness. And so right then and there, you're strengthening your relationship. They took the time, you're touching them with that card, they're taking the time to call you back, you're creating a dialogue. And he'll tell you that when he went into, to this day, when he goes into some of these offices, whether it be an executive, VP, whatever, they have those cards sitting up on the mantle. And that card creates a lot of conversation, which again is building on those relationships. And he'll tell you now that there's a number of his large contracts that he's been awarded were because of that card, and sometimes a gift that we sent in the mail, because it was a token of appreciation. And when people feel appreciated, they go leaps and bounds for you. Appreciation, sometimes it's not always about the money. Sometimes it's about feeling appreciated. And that's what people want. People want appreciation. So it's incredible to see the power of a card and your genuine, true, authentic gratitude for somebody. And sometimes that's the difference that makes a difference. So it's been an incredible, it's been incredible both personally, professionally, helping my husband to increase his referrals in business, and from that, it's just massively duplicated since starting with SendOutCards. It's been an incredible journey.
Amazing, and I'm so proud of the fact that you took the step forward, because now we all, at least I know a lot of people who now are part of the Send Out Cards team, as well as utilize it for their business. So there's a lot of wealth creation happening on the side, on the other on that front. Talking of referrals, I know that you talked about how your husband's business has increased the referral base as a result of creating a system. I would not call it just sending out cards. I think it's creating a system in the sales process of how you retain and nurture your prospects, and you need tools, and Send Out Cards came across at the right time in my business when I needed a tool to help grow my referral base, and it really helped and expedited my sales cycle. So I know that you network, but does that work for you? And outside of networking, do you think networking gives you more referrals? How does that, how do you combine the or what is your message when people network outside of you know their businesses, going to networking events, and then still utilizing a tool and a system? You briefly touched upon it, but can you elaborate?
Sure. Yep. And I'm going to kind of back up a bit as well and just focus on really, we really want to take the high tech and personal touch and we want to bring them together. We know that the internet's not going anywhere. And truly, our personal branding is really at the end of the day, which is most important. So you really want to master that bridge between high tech and personal touch. So three things that you want to do in your business and that I do and teach other clients and businesses to do, including my husband, is you want to create a list of everybody that you know in your business. And you want to be adding to that list every day. People that you meet at the store, at charity events, at fundraisers, wherever it is. The second thing is you want to add to your list with online, offline, and referral activities. The third thing is you want to create custom groups to communicate with. So what do I mean by online activities? Well, obviously, our social media posts, our blogging. You want to have your website capture pages, and this is all where Arti comes in, right? The opt-in email programs, your internet optimization, and this is where Arti, you're an absolute master at doing all of this, which is all so important. Now, some of the offline activities that you really want to master as well is obviously your meet and greets. You want to have that real connection and communication, that belly-to-belly, voice-to-voice communication with people, and that's going to be through networking meetings as well. You can do co-op marketing, you can do event marketing, direct mail, traditional marketing, and again, when you're working on your cycle of contacts, you want to focus on relationships 80% of the time, and again, marketing 20% of the time, and this includes referrals as well. So we all know that the key to getting referrals is to give them, right? You really want to give referrals 80% of the time. You really want to send out to give. And then you can ask for them 20% of the time. If you're not ever giving referrals and you're just take, well, guess what? Nobody's going to want to give you anything. So again, it's finding the best you and giving it away. And how are you doing that? How are you serving other people? You're going to be giving referrals. That is the best way that you can really, really serve somebody or somebody's businesses, is to give them a referral. And then that's when you can really ask for them. You don't want to be asking. To be honest with you, I truly believe that you should deserve a referral. And deserving your referral is serving others in a true, authentic manner.
Hmm.
Now, some other things are you want to scroll your contact list and maybe choose a minimum of 5 people that you want to reach out to every week, whether it be 5 or 10 or however that looks for you. Your purpose is to reach out and serve and see how you can serve or help them. And one of the best forms of service is, again, to give referrals.
Hmm.
So in terms of networking and, for me personally, and I know a lot of home-based businesses and entrepreneurs and small businesses, small to medium-sized businesses, BNI, any networking, Business Networking International, if you're not familiar with it, BNI is one of the largest networking groups in the world. We're trained on a system of referral marketing, and it's, for me personally, it's absolutely catapulted my business. I think that networking groups, networking events are definitely key in meeting others and networking with people. However, when you're out at a networking group, it's, again, the idea is that you want to give. You're not out there to get. You don't want to go to these things and just kind of pass out your business card and then leave. You want to build connections with people. So I know for me, when I'm going to a networking event and I know there's going to be, let's say there's several hundred people there, or even 50 or 60, I don't go out with the intention of meeting everybody, giving them my business card and hitting the road. I want to go there with the intention of making new friends
Mm-hmm.
and relationships, and really build on maybe just 2 or 3. It could be 2 or 3, but you never know what that's going to lead to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of referrals, some people have different philosophies about this. I know in the real estate community, they always say ask for referrals. Again, I believe that you really need to deserve a referral, but if you're going to ask for a referral, again, you want to give referrals 80% of the time and then maybe deserve it and ask for it 20. So, maybe ask for a referral after you've been complimented for doing a great job. So again, you've deserved it, right? You've done a great job, and maybe say, hey, referrals, I'm always open to referrals, or who do you know? Who do you know that may benefit from my service, right? Or product.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for a referral when you can offer an incentive to a person that you're asking, or instead of asking for a referral, ask the person who they would refer their friends to. And if it's not you, then ask what you can do to earn their referral, right? So
Mm-hmm.
think about that for a second, and only ask if you're going to be asking for a referral through a greeting card, for example, for a system like SendOutCards. You want to only ask for that referral if it's one of a minimum of a 5-touch card campaign. So what do I mean by that? There's a really incredible book called Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary, I think it's Gary Vaynerchuk,
Mm-hmm.
Jab, 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 Right Hook. And the whole philosophy is that, and this is in marketing, and this could be online, offline with your card
Mm-hmm.
touch campaigns or whatever it is. It's that you're, again, relationship business, right? So you're building on the relationship, celebrating their lives, and oh, by the way, I have a business and I take referrals. So it's really kind of building up to that. Great book. And really, the right hook is what's going to convert your traffic into sales, if that makes sense.
Wow, that's really, really key, and I wanted to kind of touch upon that also. But before I kind of go there, I think it's really amazing how many of us discount our existing client base for referrals, and we hesitate to ask for referrals. So you shared some really great ideas on the referral side of how to grow your business from a referral client base. Give me a little bit more insight into just a quick 30 seconds on using the send out card system. Can we create campaigns, because I know it takes about 9 to 10 to 12 touch points sometimes for somebody to remember you, right? And as you mentioned beautifully about offline, online, and traditional marketing, it's an integrated marketing approach in building relationships, because there are different types of people and they consume information differently. So with that said, how does the send out card system kind of, can you create campaigns? Is there a CRM attached to it? How would you recommend small businesses can take advantage of the platform?
Okay, I might need more than 30 seconds though, because I have
Okay.
so much information. This could be a whole nother webinar, but okay, so now I want to give you a couple examples of what I do and what I teach other businesses to do. So
Hmm.
imagine you've gone to a networking group, whether it be BNI, a meetup, Chamber of Commerce, whatever it is. So you go to a networking event and you've connected with a couple people, you've exchanged business cards, you come home, you're probably going to connect with them on LinkedIn or Facebook or things like that. And a lot of times it doesn't go any further than that, right? People, maybe they'll start liking your post, and then there's no extra dialogue. So what I always encourage people to do is, okay, do all that. That's great. You've made the connection. You've swapped business cards. You've gone home. Send out cards. I put my contacts right into my send out card CRM, because we are a CRM as well. And we have the ability to obviously create campaigns and things like that. But what I do is I will email them right away. Nice to meet you. Would love to get together over coffee to learn more about your business. Again, nothing about me. I want to know about them, because I want to see how I can be of service to them and if I can be of service to them. So once that connection is made, I go into my SendOutCards account and I'll send them a nice to meet you card. And again, it has nothing to do with business. It really is just a genuine, nice to meet you, would love to catch up over coffee. Okay, so that's one of the things that I like to do whenever I go to a networking event. And I can tell you that every single 99% of the time that I do that, and I do that 99% of the time, unless something, tragic happens, and to some degree, they end up joining my business or utilizing my service. Now consider that for a second. You do that with everybody that you meet or you make that connection with. To some degree, they're going to either refer you or they're going to end up buying into your business or service because you're starting that relationship. And that may not happen right away. And as you touched on that, Arti, it could take, usually they say between 4 to 7 exposures before somebody buys into something. So you might want to consider utilizing campaigns. A lot of times what other people in any industry do is they'll create a campaign, and that could be a 3-touch campaign, a 4-touch campaign of cards that are going out over a specified amount of time. So let's say you've done maybe even I don't know, a vendor event, or you were showcased at I don't know, you're showcasing your business and a whole bunch of people came by your booth and you want to follow up with them. You might want to do, your first card that goes out or first touch could be, it was great to meet you, thanks for stopping by. The next one could be, something, giving them tips on your business, if you're an accountant, tips on how to save money. If you're a landscaper, tips on how to, weed your garden or make your garden prettier or something like that. If you're in real estate, what are some trends in the real estate? And then maybe send out a holiday card. So you're getting that 3-touch there. A lot of my clients, for example, realtors, and some very successful realtors, they only use SendOutCards for their marketing because they know that their business is highly referral based. So they want to make sure that they're touching their clients all throughout the year. So they've created, 7-card touch campaigns so that every single season, as well as holidays, consider birthdays, consider Valentine's Day, consider Mother's Day, Father's Day, to keep top of mind of your clients and make it very personal so that they feel like they're they're your friend and not just a number. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how, those that trust gets established and that likability of working with each other gets established. So which is great. One question that I'm being asked here is in the chat is, do you really send out a physical card or is it an e-card?
It's a physical card, absolutely,
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
And I want you to consider this for a second, and I always ask people this because they say, greeting cards, aren't they a thing of the past? Well, think of this for a second, and I can't see anybody's hands go up, so I'm going to ask you this, and I already know the answer because I ask this to people all the time. Have you ever received a greeting card in the mail? Arti, have you ever received a greeting card in the
Yes.
mail? I'm going to assume yes. Now, have you ever received a greeting card in the mail and not opened it?
No, I've always opened
No,
it.
exactly. Everybody opens greeting cards. Everybody. If you get a greeting card, if you get a bill, you're going to leave it on your desk. If you get direct mail, I honestly, I sit in front of the recycling and I just toss them in. When I receive a greeting card in the mail, I can't wait to open it up because it's a feel-good thing. And so the conversion rate of sending out real physical cards is much greater than sending something direct, right? Even though with direct you're reaching a larger amount, like if you do a direct mailing to you're farming like 200-300 people in the neighborhood. However, if you're sending greeting cards and you're targeting more specifically your clients who are already paying you, right? You're touching their lives. They're going to open the card. They're going to keep it. They're going to put it up on their mantle, and it's going to create that conversation. So yes, it's a real physical card. And so SendOutCards allows you to go online, store your contacts, create groups. Groups are great. So if you've got, different, whether it be networking groups, your ABC clients, your family, your friends, whatever that is, you create your groups. You can create different campaigns. So for example, for me, I've got different campaigns. So when I help a client get started, I have an automatic 3-card touch campaign that goes out. My first card says, thanks for joining SendOutCards. Here are some tips on how to utilize the system. The next one is giving them, tips on our handwriting font and signature. You can have your own personal handwriting font and signature. And then the next one that goes out, 60 days after that, it's scheduled. It's all scheduled in the campaigns. will be about the custom brand manager, how you can have your own branding on the back of the card. So it's just giving tips to my clients. Another campaign idea that I have and a lot of businesses do is they'll have a referral campaign. So they know that they want to be sending out referral and thank you cards. So I have a referral campaign with a Starbucks gift card attached to it so that when I get a referral, I can automatically go to my SendOutCards system, attach the contact to that campaign, and it goes out. So I don't have to keep doing the work over and over and over again, but they're still getting that really, high-tech yet personal touch through the postal service.
Amazing. And it works all the time. And I've tried it and I can vouch for it. It works each time. And
yeah, in any industry, Arti. I have testimonials from every single industry and how effective it is. Because people like to be appreciated, right?
Yeah, and all you got to be is just think outside of the box and be a little bit more creative. The beauty of SendOutCards is that it's not just one of your, chapters cards or, from a shopper's, and it's much cheaper in order for you to be able to create a personalized card, which is very much, bringing that as I'm speaking, there's a big smile on my face because every time I talk about it, I go back in time where I've received such personalized cards, which put a beautiful smile. And you know what? I've used it not just to build business relationships, but also to surprise my husband, my teenage son, and it's amazing because, as you rightly said, everybody loves gifts and cards, and we can't wait to open them because it is very rare that you receive it, and when you receive it, it's a great moment, right?
Very
So.
impactful, yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
agreed. All right, so this is kind of bringing me towards end of the session. If there are any more questions, I'll take them. But I guess we've covered most of the questions that showed up on the chat here. I do have an announcement here, which is because Melissa is really kind to share with us how those of you who have a list of five people we talked about that you would want to send that heartfelt card, if you are interested in sending those 5 greeting cards, we've got a trial account set up for you. All you got to do is just send me an email at arti@measuremarketing.net, and you'll be able to create 6 personalized greeting cards. You'll also get postage included in there for about 2 such cards within Canada or the US. And just send me an email and I'll make sure that we set you up with that. Other than that, I think there is a great event that's happening up on June 27th that we would want you to attend if you really are interested in learning a little bit more about relationship marketing and how you can up your game. I would say separate yourself from your competition and create those lasting relationships. Would like to invite you to this full day event with some of the big hitters in relationship marketing and from a SendOutCards corporate office. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll make sure that you received your free pass for that. So with that, Melissa, I'll give you the floor to close the webinar today.
Okay, well, thank you, Arti, and thanks for announcing that event on June 27th. Yeah, we've got the president of field operations coming, and we're going to have a bunch of testimonials from other businesses who are utilizing SendOutCards as a relationship marketing tool. So they'll have some great ideas on how to utilize the system, as well as testimonials of how it's helped their business as well. So I just want to really close here and kind of sum up what we discussed, because I know there's a lot of information and it was kind of all over the place, so I hope I didn't ramble on too much, but I really want you to focus on those habits of prosperity that are going to really define you and your business and give you that prosperity in your business. So first, number 1 is you want to review and update your on purpose I am statements. What are you telling yourself? What's your mindset? Your I am statements and what you tell yourself is so key in everyday operations. Number 2, send at least 1 heartfelt card per day, and watch how those frequency of vibrations go up. You're going to make yourself feel good, and you're going to potentially change the life of somebody else. Number 3, consider taking pictures with your smartphone and send them to people with a personal greeting. Celebrate other people's lives, your friendships, and congratulate and celebrate their lives. Number 4, you want to farm your contact list and choose 5, or whatever that looks like for you. Choose 5 per week that you're going to serve. And again, the best way to serve is to give referrals. Number 5, you want to farm your contact list and create groups to celebrate, to send celebration cards to. And number 6, make however many appointments that you're able to fit in, and whatever that looks like for you. But make a certain amount of appointments per week from your handheld device. A lot of people are utilizing, that high tech devices to set appointments. Use your phone. You can do that in everyday life. Set appointments through your phone, your Facebook, your email, and continue on with those relationships. So I hope that's helped. And Arti, thank you so much for having me on. It was so much fun. It's so great chatting with you, and I love bouncing ideas back and forth. I hope that I've given a little bit of value today, and go out there and celebrate life. Go have fun. Celebrate
Awesome.
your life. Celebrate everybody else's life. Watch business boom.
Oh, wow. So thank you so much, Melissa. You definitely are creating a lot of value. Just want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to be with me. We're going to be sending out the recording of this webinar and this session along with a couple of, other posts on Facebook and Twitter. So just feel free to post about it. Also, I'd like to invite you to share how you felt about the webinar by hashtagging Java with Arti, hashtag relationship marketing. Follow myself and Melissa. Our Twitter handles are our names at Arti Sharma and Melissa Barlock, and just follow us and just share your story either on Facebook or on Twitter, or leave us a remark on LinkedIn. We really appreciate it, and thank you very much everybody for joining us today. We really hope this conversation helped you understand how you can make a difference in your life as well as those of others by creating appreciation as part of your sales process. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you very much, Melissa. Indeed, you are a rock star. Thank you.
Thank you, Arti.
Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone. Take care.